I just realized we're not gonna do intros and shit, but fucking man, we back again for the best damn W show, goddamn. I was wondering, are we gonna do the intros? You know, I don't know. We here for some CBA talk. You know, we all woke up this early this morning. A verbal deal got done by Annie. Annie put it out. Shout out to her. Shout out to all the journalists that was on a stakeout pretty much outside. That's real journalism right there. That's journalism. You sitting outside, you eating. They look like they was cold. They had on jackets and hats and all the good stuff.
Yeah, they in New York. It's cold.
That's what I figured. Yeah,
like they outside. Like they're not even in the lobby. They outside. So that's the good thing about it. Like you could tell they care about what they was doing to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like they could easily just be at the house and trying to figure out stuff that way. But when you got boots on the ground, that's how you get information out quickly for everybody. But for those who it is your first time here, I'm your host Jay for the evening. While you got intro, there you go. I knew it.
Bear the fuck down, Chicago.
And always got my people with me. I got Nick Andre in the building.
What is good?
We got our sister Lo, who's gonna be here for like 10 minutes, y'all. She gotta go.
Hey y'all, you know what
damn,
the
she ain't
fuck
yet?
going on?
No, she ain't ate yet.
Are you crazy?
And I had to hit up my brother K Dot. He in the building with us, man.
Bitch, that BK Dot.
I had to hit him up because he really be knowing about this CBA stuff for real. Like he really be knowing. So I had to hit him up to get on the show with us. And like always, the best producer in the world, our brother Wally on the ones and twos. What's up, everybody in the chat? I see that Lamar. Lamar, I ain't seen you in a minute, man. I ain't seen you in a while. Jay Lenz, you always there. What's happening? What's going on, everybody on this Wednesday? I'm glad y'all was able to do it. I thought we just, that's why I hit y'all up in the group chat. We should talk about just a little bit, get the ladies some shine. So if y'all don't know yet, what up, BB? What's good? Shout out to everybody on YouTube and Twitter coming through. Shams put out. We on your head, Shams. ESPN, we on y'all head. That is not fair to them ladies. That is not fair. But some key points, new salary cap starting at $7 million, up from $1.5 million. First of all, shout out to the GMs getting shit done with that, with that type of salary cap. Like that is just really insane. Average revenue share of nearly 20% across deal. Supermax starting at 1.4 million. Shout out Asia. She about to get Mark Davis can't wait, boy.
Mark Davis had that shit on lock.
He got that shit.
Ready.
Hey, he got that shit in the PDF sitting waiting for this day to send that shit over. And average salary range of $600K, a minimum above the $300K. Lo, I'm gonna start with you since you gotta get out of here quickly. What's your thoughts so far on the little details we do have? We ain't gonna talk too much in depth because we waiting on more stuff to come through. But from what we got so far, what's your thoughts?
I mean, I think overall it was a win. Just in the totality of the things that I have read so far, I still want to learn a little bit more about retirement plans. I want to know more about housing. I want to know more about how they plan to handle pregnancy, because those have been big issues for the WNBA players in the overall CBA conversation. I will say that I know that they initially asked for 40% revenue shares and they settled on 20%. And at first I was like, man, they kind of gave in. But the more I'm thinking about it, the WNBA doesn't even own its own entity 100%. So you're asking for, so even though it's 20%, it's going to be, it'll kind of equate to higher than actually 20%. So I am glad that they stood firm on increasing the revenue shares from 9% to 20%. I think that'll be a big increase in overall salary as the years continue and as the growth of the WNBA continues to increase. But that was one of my biggest things. Like I was like, I just really hope that they do not bend on that. And I'm glad that they, stood 10 toes and actually got some, because that was one of the pieces that the WNBA was trying to keep in their grasp, because they're not dumb. They know that they're sitting on a cash cow. Like they are not dumb. Just in 2 to 3 years, the exponential like increase and influx of new WNBA fans and new money, like you can see that it's not stopping anytime soon. We still have great players that are coming up through the pipeline that are bringing their name, image, and likeness from college, and that's going to continue to follow through with them throughout the league.
Cult followings.
Correct. And so they're saying that this deal is supposed to be for 7 years. They can opt out at 6 years. I'm pretty sure that they will opt out at 6 years, because by that time, you'll have the likes of Juju in the league. You'll have Hannah. You'll have a lot of big names. Michaela Blake's, like you'll have a lot of big names, Sarah Strong, that are going to bring their fan bases with them. So we'll see the WNBA continue to increase. And by that time, you'll see, Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese being even more prominent in the WNBA, because they'll have years under their belt of just playing in the league. So yeah, I mean, I think it's just a great feat. Today was transformational. A lot of lives changed today, and a lot of future lives changed today, from a monetary standpoint, and just from being treated like professional athletes. Like that's all they were asking for. The money's great, don't get me wrong, but the fact that I, just a regular 9-to-5 schmegular, was making more than a lot of WNBA players, like that's problematic.
Correct.
That's problematic. And that's not me like hyping, because I don't think I make a lot of money. That's not me like hyping it, but that's just a fact. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, rookies making $70,000. I made more than that coming out of college. Like and they're professional athletes. That's a problem. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I think it's just and I've been saying it for the last 6 months. Like, this is going to be the precedent. Is going to set the precedents for future CBAs to come. And so I'm glad that they stood on all 10, because if they would have folded on this one, it would have been hard for the next CBA to really make movement. So I'm glad that they all kind of, put their hard hats on and went 8 days straight with meeting each other and trying to come to some type of resolve. So yeah, that's really what I got on it. I think that it's great. I still think that the mid-tier players are going to be left out a little bit. They will get paid more, but $7 million sounds like a lot when the salary cap was 1.2. But once you start paying max players 1.2 million, that salary cap dwindles a lot. You still got to cover, right? You still got to cover the rookie salaries. You still got to cover, maybe not your top player, but maybe the player right under that. Maybe not the max player, but maybe still a superstar. I got to pay them and keep them happy as well. So we're going to see GMs have to make some very hard decisions. They're going to be put in some very tough positions, and it's going to be a fun time though, because over 70% of the league are free agents right now. So I mean, it's going to be a fun time. I think a lot of teams will look different next year. And I'm just happy that the women are getting paid. Like that's just the bottom line of it,
That's definitely the bottom line. What you got, Nick?
I was gonna let K-Dot go next.
Go ahead, K-Dot. Go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, what Lo said is absolutely true. I know that we've been talking about this CBA going on 3 years now, even before they opted out. So to see, historical transformational change come, even from the transformational change that we saw in 2020, is definitely really, really encouraging. Of course, I have my reservations about the concessions on some things, but I also understand what labor and business is like. So, going from 3.25% in revenue share to I believe it was like 9.3% that was offered by the league, to now up to 20% in revenue share. For a league that isn't even 100% owned by its own entity is very, very good and encouraging to see. And from these salary standpoints, you jump from a max salary to about 237K to now 1.4 million, like, and that's in 4.5. That's for 4.5 months of hoop. Assuming you're going to make the finals. So that's not a bad, exponential bump in pay. And what was intriguing to me, the original ask of roughly 9.26 million in salary cap, and the league trying to go for the 5.26, and for them to kind of meet in the middle, close to 7 mil. I think the actual number is 6.9%. I mean 6.9 million. I think that's really, really good as well. So from what I've read in the Sports Business Journal this morning, after the announcement, I believe there was only a 4% variance from a negotiation standpoint. So obviously, as they continue to dwindle that revenue share percentage down, to say only a 4% variance in agreements, that I think that's also a win. So, when it comes to this CBA, again, like you all said, it's transformational. It's a historic thing. We're going to see the first legit $1 million player from a league standpoint. Not to say that they haven't been making millions, at least the superstars, but from a actual number standpoint, when we're talking about contracts, we will see the first $1 million player, and that's like the best thing in the world. And I know that we were talking about it earlier, me and Lo, just talking about how this sets the precedent for the future CBA negotiations, whether it be 4 years from now, whether it be 6 years from now. So it's again beyond encouraging, and man, I can't wait to just see the continued growth and the continued success, because as we all know, this is the first year, 2025, that the league saw a net revenue.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. So it's going to be very, very interesting to continue this upward trajectory of improvement, upward trajectory of excitement, upward trajectory of just a lot of the growth that we've seen in this league. I'm still a little reserved about some things, but it's a good day regardless.
We're all happy because we kept saying we don't even know we had no basketball this summer, man. That was the thing. And we, on the other flip side, we kept saying, if we don't have to have no basketball because they stand on their ground, so be it.
So be it. Right.
So be it.
I was on the strike side. I was like, hey, yo, if you on strike, then
but if you're gonna strike because you need more, do it. Yeah. Right. Strike shit. Fuck all that. Because you get once you get stuck in it, now you stuck in it for the next 6-7 years.
It's sick.
Right, sick, and all this money coming in because you got all these investors. The best investors see it. Exactly. All these ownership groups and everything. That's how like it's too many of them ownership groups forming because they see where this league is going. So.
And I just want to throw this out there too. Like, I know people feel however they feel about Unrivaled because they feel like it's an inclusive type of league, which I think it is. Like, when you're only asking 36 players to come, like, it is an inclusive league, unfortunately. But no one can tell me that Unrivaled success did not put pressure on the WNBA. The success of Unrivaled 100% put pressure on it. And I'll even go as far as to say that I think it took some of the WNBA's leverage, because it's like, all right, well, we got Project B, we got AU, we got Unrivaled. Like, there are other leagues where we can go get a little bit of money until y'all get y'all act together. And so I think if those leagues weren't there, I think that the WNBA would have had more footing, and they probably wouldn't have played ball the way that they played it, like during these negotiations. But when you see the numbers coming out and how much revenue Unrival's making, you have to kind of compromise at this point, because once the WNBA took over the ABA, like after that, it was just no other leagues really competing. Now you actually have leagues that are competing, and they're treating the players better. They're paying them better. I'm just talking about Unrivaled in for this case, but you see every player from Unrivaled saying how they're treated well, how the facilities are available, and so when another league that just came about is doing better than a league that's been around for 30 years. And then granted, I know it's a smaller scale because it's less players, but it's a bad look. You know what I'm saying? And it takes the leverage away from the WNBA, in my opinion. So I think that's also why they were more willing to compromise, because especially when those rival numbers came out, the talks kind of picked up a little bit, because they're like, hold on now, these women really might strike. Because I think at first they thought that they were bluffing.
Yes.
I really do. Like, I think that they thought that they were bluffing, and they're like, oh, we still have the upper hand. Baby, those times have changed. And I'm glad that they have.
I'm so happy they have, for sure. What you got, Nick?
I'm honestly glad that both Low and K-Dot went first, because I felt like they were going to be able to break it down a little bit better than I could have. Obviously I know basketball from like the on-court perspective, but as far as the business and the CBA is still something I'm trying to learn myself. But I will give credit to the ladies for just understanding their value and really just standing their ground, honestly, because like Lo said, I think everybody did think that they would bluff and that they would eventually give in. But I mean, we pretty much knew, even like from last season and even a couple years before, like that the CBA deal was going to expire in 2025. So therefore, like I think that's one thing that I will say, is that they prepared for this, like months ahead, years ahead, whatever it is. And they wanted to stand their ground. Like, look, if we have to strike the whole season, if we have to miss the whole season to get what we want, then that's what it's going to be. If we have to look at other options like Project B or Unrivaled, that's what we're going to do. Because the one thing that I will give them credit for is that they're looking to prepare not only for themselves for like the bigger picture ahead, but then also for like the future of the WNBA in itself. So I give them a lot of credit from that aspect, honestly. And I'm just glad that we finally got a deal done, and now we can get some hoops again.
I'm so happy. Ray asks, do we think that Unrivaled still continues to maintain that leverage over the W? I don't know.
It depends.
I really don't know.
Yeah, it depends.
I really do not know. And
that's a good question, because I think still going into this season, like every team doesn't have a facility. I mean, most teams are transitioning to that direction, but I think within the next 5 years, that needs to be the standard. It should be before then, but then the next 5 years, that needs to be the standard. Like, it just needs to be. And I think that if Unrivaled still has top tier like facilities and amenities for the players, I think that that's still some type of leverage. But in terms of pay, I think that kind of has evened out now.
I think it's evened out for sure. I also think that we might see a different approach to Unrivaled. Obviously, you still have some of these top tier players who have stake in Unrivaled, and it's not like, to me, this is just my personal opinion. I don't think that they're just going to abandon that just because there's a new CBA from a WNBA perspective on the table. So, I think that when you have that talent pool, for example, you have, those talented individuals, like a Juju or an Audi Crooks, and those type of talents coming in, they're going to be rookies, right? So anything that kind of shapes the preparation of a new season, if you have something like an Unrivaled playing in January, it obviously prepares them for a WNBA season in May, and they don't have to use that option of going overseas, because there are going to be players that will still decide to want to go overseas if you're in that mid-tier to lower tier salary range. So it's, even though we know there's significant bumps in pay, there's still also the factor of, hey, I still play ball for the love of the game, and I still want to make a little bit of money on the side as well. So, there's so many different avenues, but there are also so many different avenues stateside. You have Unrivaled. I know Project B is more of a traveling type. I think Project B, they're going to use it as like that golf league that they have. More touring and things of that nature. You still have Athletes Unlimited. And you also have the Upshot League that's coming up. And I think Upshot League, obviously, you wouldn't have, you wouldn't respectfully, I don't think you would have, a lot of the W players coming over to the Upshot League. However, I think that could really be a great farm system. I keep talking about farm systems, but Upshot League, I really, really think could be a great farm system, for the WNBA, because there are already WNBA legends investing into Upshot League, like a Cheryl Miller. They just announced Tamika Catchings, as one of not a principal investor, but someone who's going to be, a face. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see, what these leagues do outside of a WNBA offseason. But I don't see Unrivaled kind of like losing its edge. I mean, let's face it. I think they've set the precedent, especially with the Brooklyn as well as the Philly tour.
They definitely gonna probably
we're talking about an average of 18,500 people.
Yeah.
So, it's they're not going to lose that much, leverage. So it's definitely going to be interesting. But that was a great question, Ray.
That was a really good question.
She has another question. Is there an opportunity that Unrivaled or AU are going to be converted into a G League? I don't think so.
I don't think so. No, especially not Unrivaled.
Yeah,
and I think they've already kind of they are. I think they already kind of said, our league is our league. We're not even trying to be any type of farm system.
And I mean,
it's a different form of basketball too, though.
Right. And I mean, like, wasn't their motto something like we had like the 30 best players in the league?
Yeah,
that's what it was supposed to be.
Exactly. That's what it was supposed to be. Exactly.
Yeah, they're not gonna do that.
I mean, granted, I do think the WNBA does need a G League type of developmental league. I think it'll be great, especially from that transition from college to the WNBA, but also with, it's a lot of influx of foreigners coming over now and playing in the WNBA as well. You see for the last few years, this year, last year, and I'm sure next year as well, it's foreigners that are projected to go top 3, top 4.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And so I think that would be a good
with the drafting stash.
Right. So I think And so I think that would be I think it would be a great idea, and especially because the league is expanding, why not have a G League?
I'm with you on that. Especially with like players always getting cut all the damn time, and then they just fall off.
Follow-up question to the follow-up question. Now, if the W had invested with, or partnered up with Unrivaled, do you think it could have merged into somewhat of a G League?
I don't think they want to
I still
partner with
don't
them,
think
do
so.
they? Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, I don't think so, because again, like when we're talking about, and like Lo and Nick said, we're talking about two different versions of basketball, right? So, and they've always kind of marketed their league as that 30 best players, right? And I really think that you
gotta
So,
do the air
Look, we'll say the 30 best available players.
the 30 best available. You hit the nail on the head, Wally. The 30 best available players, right? Because like when you're looking at it from that standpoint, like it's just different. And they were when I say they were adamant about not making it a farm system, because I was one of those guys. I was like, listen, the W needs a farm system. Like, I don't know how you do it. I don't care how you do it, but you need a farm system, especially if you're going to be cutting fringe, draft picks, the last days of training camp going into the season. And then when some of your role players are injured, now you're asking them to come back on 7 days. Like, how are they preparing themselves? Like, they're literally twiddling their thumbs and trying to find gyms. We've seen it happen to where players are literally finding gyms or trying to find gyms to stay in shape because they know they might get that call because there might be an injury. So I just think that if the W take this CBA and really looking to having some type of farm system, it'll help sustain a lot of that a lot of those issues that they were having from an injury standpoint. Like, I don't know what the record is, but like the past couple of years, like we've seen kind of like record injuries, due
especially
to
this past year.
right, like that's just due to lack of time and then commitment, because you have so many games back to back, or
I'm
you
saying
have
scheduling plays a role.
scheduling is was one of the biggest issues. So again, I'm going to continue to shop the idea of having that farm system, and respectfully, like I said, I think something like an upshot league would be really, really good. I mean, you have 6, I want to say it's four different areas, and the majority of them or all of them are in the Southeast. Shout out to the Southeast, by the way. They don't have besides the Atlanta Dream, they don't have another WNBA team, but they have a team in Jacksonville. They have 2 teams in North Carolina, one in Greensboro and one in Charlotte, and I believe they have another team in Savannah. So if you want to kind of use that as your type of leverage, or put somebody on assignment, like kind of like rehab assignment, getting them ramped back up. I mean, kind of like use that, as your bridge. But it's definitely going to be interesting, especially with them getting this CBA, on paper, and it hasn't been signed yet.
Yeah,
but
right, correct.
Right.
At least having some type of verbal agreement. We'll see what comes out of it. So it's to be determined.
For sure. Let me ask y'all this. Go
Go
ahead, Nick.
No, I was going to talk real quick about the possible G League. I think that could potentially both help start and extend a lot of careers, if you ask me. Because
absolutely,
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it now. Like by 2028, 2029, we're probably going to have 16 teams. Because I know Philly and Detroit, they're going to be coming in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
But even then, like I still feel like that's not enough roster spot to me, especially with a lot of talents coming in, both combined, like in college in the United States. And Lo talked about it, like a lot of players coming from overseas coming as well. So, and on top of that, like what's the average WNBA career? Like what, 7-8 years or something like that? Like
around that, yeah.
Something like
it's
that.
around
So
7 or 8 years.
having a G League could possibly help extend it, honestly. I mean, you got, especially if you have like multiple teams in the G League, like you can have a combination of young players who may have not made the final roster, but then you can also have veterans who, like for instance, like maybe like an Odyssey Sims who was, bouncing from team to team, could possibly, like she could use that as like leverage for her to obviously stay in shape, but then also continue to play competitive basketball. So there's a lot of benefits that come to that. I honestly do hope that they could possibly get a G League for the W one day.
I think that would be maybe like after this CBA has run its course, because I'm sure they want to look at the numbers and see how much they're profiting and stuff like that, especially after they're giving out a lot more money these next 6 to 7 years. So I think that if they're making great profits, which I believe will happen,
yes,
I think that that's something that they may be able to look at, for future, for future times.
One thing I want to ask y'all is that we all know how the timeline is when it comes to after college and get straight to the league. And I know they different places put out about all the free agents, but we know why. A lot of people don't know the free agent stuff was set up this way on purpose. But I'm gonna ask y'all this: since it just got done, do you think? I mean, of course, like Asia, I think Stewie, all of them gonna re-sign, but you think it's gonna be less movement because it got signed? The agreement got done so late instead of happening in January? You think teams have been worrying about like who they gonna sign, like outside of the players on their team?
Say that again. Repeat that.
Like, so do you think it's gonna be crazy movement now? Like
with all the free agents.
Because when we first saw, like, damn, they setting up, everybody gonna be a free agent, but it took so long to get this done to the point. Do we think it's gonna be like the crazy movement we thought it was gonna be? Because they just got it done March 18th, shit, and then the draft April 13th or something like that, and then it gets going. Like, do you think it's gonna be crazy movement?
Yeah, I do.
I still think so as well.
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean 70% of the players are free agents.
Yeah.
And now, like, especially with the expansion teams, you might overpay some players just to come get them to play for your team. You know what I'm saying? And so I think we will definitely see movement. I'm interested to see which players end up taking a pay cut, even though it still will be more than what they made previously. But I'm interested to see what players will take a pay cut to help form like a championship team. And I will say this, and then I'm gonna get off. But because I said 10 minutes and it's been 30.
Y'all know,
I
knew that it was a lie.
Look, y'all know when I get to talking about hoops, I can't shut up. But I will say this: I saw a lot of people suggesting that Asia should take a pay cut, and I just want y'all to shut up. Honestly,
shut the fuck up. I had to say that.
Please, like,
are you kidding me?
Please,
1.4 wasn't even enough for Asia.
Hello.
Like,
Give her the whole $7 million, okay? The way that she carried them on her back last year, if we're being honest. But for you guys saying that, like, it's irritating to me because Asia, out of all people, has taken a pay cut the last 5 years, like easily.
On
and
paper.
So I do understand that when you are trying to win, your superstars sometimes will take a pay cut to get more people. To be able to fit more players that you want on that roster to make the team full. But that's nothing that has nothing to do with Asia. She's done her job in those 5 years. In those 5 years in which she took a pay cut, and let's be clear, when I say pay cut, I'm talking about legal pay cut, because no one can tell me that she did not take shit under the table. They all do it. That's just what it is. Like, you're not telling me that she only got paid $200,000 like the last 5 years. It's just like,
I mean, hell, didn't Mark give them all the players like what $100K each one time?
Don't say that. It's not Mark. Don't say that. Don't say that. It's not Mark. It's
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, if that happened, like, what do you think?
It was supposed to be a sponsorship from the Las Vegas, like something in Las Vegas that was
some commission, the touring commission.
And so they would have to go do speaking engagements and other stuff. But like, let's be clear. Sports people get paid under the table. Like you saw Jalen Brunson, he missed out on millions of dollars. Y'all really think this man is just letting millions of dollars sit on the table like that? But that's not even what I'm talking about. My point is the last 5 years, Asia has literally taken a pay cut and has not been the highest paid on her team. And in those 5 years, we'll say 5 to 7 years, what has she done? Won 3 titles, won 4 MVPs, won 3 Defensive Player of the Year. What more do y'all want her to do? Pay her. Like, I just don't get the logic. Like, oh, she wants to win again. No, she's already paid her dues. She's already, she's already taken the pay cut and she won. Like, so I'm just sick of seeing that. And I just had to address that. Like, give her the 1.2 and shut up.
All right.
Oh my God.
Drop the
all right,
mic,
y'all. Y'all have a wonderful night. I might be in the chat, but my
Lakers
are also
low.
All right, low.
Blessings, low. To answer, I want to answer BB's question.
I was gonna say I got two of them. I got 2 of them marked off, but yeah, we can start with BB.
So to answer your question, the rookies aren't grandfathered in. They're going to immediately get that $300K. They're not grandfathered in, and that's the good thing. So your Pages, your Sonia Citrons of the world, they're definitely going to see the benefits immediately. So that's because, and the reason why they're going to see those benefits immediately is because you have to remember the opt-out happened in October of 2024. So anything that happened in the previous CBA, obviously the rookies will get their salary, but they got their salary under, and it's kind of sort of like a unprecedented agreement. So so there was an agreement, but there wasn't an agreement. So it's like, okay, yeah, we got our money outside of the past CBA, so they automatically get the new deal. We can't say the same. We can't say the same about free agents. I think there was a clause in the previous CBA where if free agents took a deal prior to or after the CBA opt out, then they would have to fulfill that contract and then re-up afterwards. But do not quote me on that. I have to go back to that section of it. But I know for sure that the rookies will reap the benefits of the new CBA deal. So
I think you might be on point with that one, K-Dot, because I remember we made jokes about it, but it's gonna be the rookies that's not gonna be a free agent, and Kalani and Lexi.
Yeah,
they signed, and we said we understand why they signed, but I think they're kind of stuck. But you might be on point with that, like you said. I think you might be correct with what you're saying there about those contracts. But
I also
that's
had
dope.
one more. Also
Go
had
ahead,
one
Wally.
more.
What's the other one?
Tiger, we didn't forget. I didn't forget about you. I wanted to make sure. So I thought this was a good one too.
I'm curious how the new salaries could affect how much college kids approach choosing to go to programs that prepare them for the league versus going all in on chasing the bag in college.
I think the bag is the bag regardless, Tiger. I don't think it changes any, because if you look at this year's recruiting class, UConn isn't even top 5 from what I've seen. And I could be wrong, but from what I've seen, the final, I wouldn't say the final, but I know USC, so I know Southern Cal is up there. I know that South Carolina is
LSU
up there. LSU, there's 2 more, and I don't think UConn was in the top 5. They're for sure in the top 10, but I don't remember seeing UConn in the top 5. So no matter what, yeah, USC does have the top class. So no matter what, I think players are going to choose regardless. And it's not going to affect, their NIL. Mind you, the top recruits will probably still make more than $300K in one calendar year of school. So it's not going, I don't think it's going to affect, like, you're not going to have, like, back in the day where you had blue bloods, where it's like all of these top kids are going to just 5 total schools. Like, I still think that they're gonna spread their wings, and we'll see, like a top 8 kind of like recruiting class for each class. Obviously, the usual suspects are going to be there, right? But like the way Lindsey Gottlieb is recruiting,
hey, one thing she can do is she can recruit.
One thing she can't do is she can recruit.
She can recruit, boy.
So real quick, not to cut you guys off. I got the top 10 schools when it comes to NIL for women's basketball. Number 1, Iowa. Number 2, South Carolina. Number 3, LSU. Number 4, Tennessee. Number 5, Texas. Number 6, UConn. Number 7, Notre Dame. Number 8, Oklahoma. Number 9, Iowa State. Number 10, Michigan.
Yo, K-Dot, I didn't expect them to say Iowa won. I was shocked. I'm like, Iowa's number 1? Like, I thought it was gonna be LSU, but
wait a minute, dog.
The face
I was like, I had to look. I was like, what?
No.
Hey, I figured Iowa would be on the list, but number 1?
I didn't know they didn't. I did not know.
That's a lot of goddamn corn they selling out there.
It's a hell of a lot of corn. But Hy-Vee be, they be advertising their ass off in the Midwest.
Man. Fuck. Hey, but like K-Dot said, that money is still gonna matter in college. 'Cause like you said, they still not
is.
gonna get more than 300K, regardless. Oh yeah, Texas is not on the.
That's
Did
very
you say
surprising.
Texas?
Yeah, I said Texas. Texas is number 5.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I blanked out. Hey, I zoned out for a sec after I heard Iowa.
Because y'all was still
I was
tripping
saying, I
off
heard
Iowa.
I'm like, hang on.
Like, hey, I like had a little glitch when I heard Iowa number 1. I'm like, what the fuck? Wait a minute.
Crazy.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is
I
the old
did
one.
see a crazy number. I wish I pulled it up, would have saved it.
What-
It was talking about how much schools invest in into a women's program now. It's some nice numbers up
It's a
there.
good
So-
amount now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the numbers are there.
Man,
So
them numbers
when it
was
when it
nice.
comes
I
to
said, damn.
so when it comes to Texas, I feel like the reason why they're at number 5 is because of the football team. Most of that money goes to the football team.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
So you're gonna
it's a
and that's gonna be
collective, yeah.
it's gonna be like that for a lot of schools. A lot of these
Yeah.
schools, that NIL money, majority of that shit's going to their football team. If you have a good football program,
Absolutely.
So was
or
that
your
list based
or your
on-
men's basketball.
So okay, so that list that you just named, was that list like just on women's basketball, or was that all athletics?
This was Nielsen's top 10 most popular women's college. And this is
Okay.
dealing with NIL.
Okay.
Did you say Notre Dame?
Yes, Notre Dame is y'all killing me. Notre Dame is 7.
Okay.
I bet why we stuck on Iowa shit.
My fault,
It's
man.
all good.
Yeah.
It's all good. It's all
We
good.
got a
It's all
little glitch.
I didn't even hear the rest of the
So-
Iowa. Like,
And then I think what Iowa, of course, a lot of that spins off of Caitlin Clark. But
Yeah.
but Caitlin Clark's been gone, and that team is still good.
yeah.
So the proof is in the pudding for
And you-
Iowa. I mean, it just helps. Just like what Lowe saying with the Juju effect for USC, got the Caitlin Clark effect with Iowa. So
And you know what? Like, I shouldn't even be surprised. Like, even from us being at the Big Ten tournament a couple weekends ago, like, yeah, I was close to Indiana, but it was feeling like home games in there with Iowa.
The endowment, the alumni, like that, they have one of the strongest alumni systems
Man,
in the US.
like deep. They were deep.
It's really like that. I when I was researching about, I want to say about 2 years ago, because I wouldn't call it the C. Vivian Stringer effect, but when C. Vivian Stringer put Iowa women's basketball on the map, back in the day, like that's what from a women's basketball standpoint, not just from a sports standpoint, but from a women's basketball standpoint, that's kind of what started it. It's almost like how Louisiana Tech in the 80s and early 90s was like the standard of women's college basketball. Like C. Vivian Stringer has that effect, and obviously, you saw the effect that she had on Rutgers. So it just depends on who impacts. But C. Vivian Stringer, kind of like started that. But of course, obviously, in today's age, today's generation, Caitlin Clark has definitely skyrocketed a lot of that. So it's very, very interesting the way that it works. I have a homeboy that actually is in the trenches of all of this college stuff, and he basically just told me that the endowment from the alumni is just like a huge salary cap. And of course, they divvy up the funds between all of the major sports, and then you have the rest, right? So of course, the major sports: football, basketball, and then baseball. Of course, depending on the popularity, football will get the top of the pot.
Yep.
Then it'll be basketball, then it'll be baseball, and then it's everybody else. Everybody else just, get the rest. So they split that up, and then that's when they have their, little bit of funds to, shop or recruit, for certain players. And the more, good players they get, the more money that is just dumped into the endowment. So it's basically MLB, with there's really no salary cap when it comes to this kind of stuff. So it's really, like I said, the money part of it, the business part of it. I know Nick, me and you, we're X's and O's, but I've been really interested, and I go back to my days of watching The Wire. When you follow the drugs, it can take you to one place, but when you follow the money, it takes you places you wouldn't ever imagine. So that's how I kind of look at it, from a money standpoint.
Man, shit, y'all got anything else on this, man? We can talk about this shit forever. I'm just excited. We're gonna have an all-star game.
Facts.
Hell
Everybody
yeah.
pulling Chicago.
Hell yeah.
Back on the table.
Sounds like
Chicago
I
was
wanna-
never off the table. Let's just
Yeah,
say
yeah.
We was gonna be there regardless.
Chicago was
Yeah,
never off
we
the
talked
fucking
about that a
table.
couple weeks ago. We said regardless, it summertime
Yeah,
shots gonna
regardless,
happen.
it's back on the table. So
But-
I gotta figure. I still gotta figure that out.
yeah. But man, like I'm happy.
we got a busy April.
We do.
Oh yeah. I was actually thinking about
expansion
that.
draft.
Yeah, we
Go ahead,
So
Nick.
we got the expansion for April 1st to the 6th. We got the expansion draft. April 3rd to the 5th is the Final Four in national championship. April 7th to the 8th is free agency qualifying offers. April 9th to the 11th, free agency negotiations. April 12th, free agency opens. April 13th, the draft. April 19th, what's that? Camp. Got camp that starts the 25th, preseason games, and then May 8th, the season starts.
Damn, that
If you were
shit is
smart, that's correct. If you were smart,
That's wild.
front
It's
office,
very
you already
early.
got your timeline
Yeah.
of things you gotta do. And low, you might as well just gas up the pace and drive. The way flying is. Hey, listen.
Oh,
Plane tickets is like I should have to pay this much to fly in the States.
Not domestic.
It's cheaper to go overseas.
Nah. For real.
I might have to drive over there too. Shit.
Like, what the fuck you mean I gotta pay $600 to go to Houston? This shit crazy.
This shit's ridiculous.
What are you talking about? $700? What? No, dog.
She said, "Look up an Amtrak."
Yeah, you better look up Amtrak. I wish Amtrak was a bullet train.
Man,
you're gonna be on that motherfucker for a couple days, but hey. But still, like, the prices is crazy the way planes are, but it's a lot of but that timeline is crazy. But it's gonna
just going back to the schedule real quick. I'm actually confused why we need 5 days for an expansion draft. Like, I don't understand that.
Is it because it's 2 days? I mean, 2 teams. I mean,
that's why I feel like it shouldn't be that much though.
I think
it could be a case where, remember, teams have to figure out, if they're not free agents, they have to figure out who they're gonna keep. And I know it's not a lot of players under contract, but they do have to figure out who they're going to keep. And that expansion draft, we're talking about two drafts with the Toronto Tempo and the Portland Fire. So we're talking about a combination of like 12 players, 6 on each team. And
let me ask you this real quick, Craig. Dude, how many players do they get to keep each team now? Like, how many players do you get to save since it's two
still
teams?
6?
Oh, okay,
it's
okay.
Still 6. Yeah.
Okay.
So doesn't matter, but like I said, we have 70% of the league are free agents.
Right.
So, and they can't even agree in principle because the expansion draft is the 1st through the 6th, right? Because qualifiers don't go out until the 9th.
This shit is
so they
insane.
might if I'm a free agent, I sit and wait.
Yeah, you sit and wait to see who's being drafted where, and I'm like, oh, okay, Portland might be
unless
nice
you have a team. Yeah, I was gonna say unless you have a team that you're just dedicated of wanting to play for. Yeah, I sit and wait till all the smoke clears and then go figure out who I want to play for.
Yeah, probably only the big dogs is gonna sign like the Asias and Stewies and all that.
Yeah,
we
can
like they gonna stay with
that,
their squad. Sure. It's them second tier players and third tier players. Like, shit, I'm waiting. Who y'all drafting?
Yeah, I mean that's the biggest thing. Like more like the veteran role players that are really gonna be in question.
Yeah,
big time free agents is on that. You know who all gonna be there time. You know what I mean? So
and then you're gonna see, you'll see players like a Tip Hayes who's gonna get paid, like who'll get paid by one of these expansion teams because somebody got to get paid. Somebody got to get paid. Somebody got to be on the team.
Stu York got a statue waiting. I'm sick of New York people, man. Sorry, K-Dot. Sorry, K-Dot. Hey, come on. Hey, look. I got a hold on. I got a love-hate relationship with my people from New York because my God, they be so ridiculous, boy. I love y'all, but goddamn. Oh, listen, my goodness.
Man, it depends on where you from. You know what I'm saying? I can understand if if you can't stand some Harlem cats, I can understand. You know what I mean?
You Harlem? Oh my God!
Nah. I'm a Bronx boy. So
man,
shout out to the boogie down. I'm from the South Bronx.
Oh my goodness.
Shout out to 138th and 3rd Avenue. You see what's in the back? You see what's in the back?
I see you.
What's in the back?
Boy got the whole New York on his wall. Shit.
Right. I love the passion from New York people, man. Regardless of what they talking about, I love the passion. I love it. I love that.
I'm one of the. I can say this like I could genuinely tell you I'm probably one of the most logical New Yorkers you will ever meet. Like the most logical New York, like
because a lot of them,
like we can be delusional. You know what I mean?
New
York is definitely.
We can be extremely delusional.
Just go see Knicks fans. Shit.
Yeah, Knicks fans.
So case in point. So I'm probably the most logical New York friend that you guys have. Like for real.
You know what? I can probably see that. No, Jay Lynch, I don't see you talking crazy too much about the Knicks on the timeline. I
think he holds it in. I think he holds it in.
You hold it in?
Not that's a fact, though. People from New York love
for real.
New York.
Love New York.
They love New York, boy. Love it.
Especially if you've never left your borough. You fucking love that borough.
Yes, you do.
You gotta stand on it. Take those down. I left my borough, and I actually was raised in another state. You know what I'm saying? So I was able to see the world outside of abandoned buildings. You know, in the projects. Like I was able to see all of that. Like it's so funny. I still got family that thinks like Staten Island is like heaven. You know what I mean? Like, because they've been so stuck in the Bronx.
I feel that. I understand.
When you go to Staten Island, you're like, oh shit, yo, Staten Island, nice. What?
I will agree that you might be one of the most logical New York fans I know.
He is. I think he is.
I know because I'd be like,
I love the Knicks, but sometimes they do dumb shit, and I'm gonna call them out on it. You know what I'm saying? They do dumb shit, so it is. And God, when it comes to, I know we talking women's basketball. When it comes to the Knicks, God damn, dog, it's like a relationship. It's like the most toxic relationship. It's like your Chicago sports, right? It's one of the most toxic relationships you could ever be in. Like, why do we love these fools so much?
Man,
like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why do we love them so much? Every time we say we done with them, they do something, and we, all right, well, let me go back to this. I'm sorry.
Why you
every
say that
time.
shit, man? Why you say that? Dog?
Every time.
Y'all gotta
He just had to do that jab in on the book with Chicago sports. He just had to do that shit.
Oh, shit. Hold up, man.
I feel it though.
Look, I told y'all, Jay Lynn's
Side two
coming
Anthony
with
Townsend. Come on,
every
man.
time,
Yo,
dog.
y'all gotta chill, man. Y'all gotta
All
chill.
right, man.
You gotta chill, bro.
Y'all funny as hell for that. Hey, shout out to her though for alopecia. How you say alopecia, right?
Alopecia.
Alopecia awareness. Does she have it, or
Yeah.
she just doing it
She has
for?
it, yeah.
She
I
does
believe
have
she
it.
does have it, yeah.
Okay. Hey man,
I
that's
think
not
so.
a. That's
I think
a.
so. I think so. I don't know for sure, but I think she does.
Okay. But shout out to her, man. Good thing. Hey, she don't have no lumpy ass head. That's Hey, you don't know what your scalp look like when you had hair for a long time and you go bald. You have no idea.
Look, as a nigga that joined the military and had, of course, they buzz cut the shit out you in basic training. I was like, yeah, I'm shocked that my head was shaped well.
Hey man, hey,
that's all.
You need a good shape.
Boy,
you need a good shaped head.
Listen,
I did. I said LP. I can't. I fucked it up. Oh well. I did. It's been a long damn day. Shit. I did.
Is it Al Pacino?
That's exactly what I was thinking about, K-Dot. That's what I was thinking about.
And I say that word all the time. Like that's not even the first time I had to say it. Then I get on here and say that shit. It's time to
happens
go.
to the best of us.
It does happen to the best of us. Oh well. Y'all got anything else to say about the CBA and what's going on?
It's about to be a hectic month. I'll tell you that much.
It is.
It's definitely a hectic month.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of information.
And you know what's crazy? I was telling him earlier. I was like, damn, I need a break from this basketball shit. But ain't no time for a break. Ain't no time.
They said
it's over with. Yeah, it's over with, boy. If you ain't take a vacation by now, I don't know when you're gonna do it.
Next week.
So before we go, I truly do want to shout out all of the and I know you shouted them out earlier. But truly shout out to all of the reporters that we follow, all of the reporters that that were able to stay in the trenches and have the reporting provided to us, even though the details wasn't provided to them to provide to us. I won't get into that, but I do really appreciate all of you all. I'm not going to say any names because I tend to forget names. Yeah. But they know who they are. We know who they are. And we truly want to thank you because you give the independent media folks, at least a ground to stand on with you guys, because it's almost like you all are an extension of us in some way, shape, or form, whether it's through print, whether it's through pod, whether it's through social media and social content. So like I wanted to say, thank you all to those who kept reporting so we could like and retweet, I was talking about it, so I just wanted to shout them out.
Absolutely. Anything else? I think we get up out of here, man. Shout out to all 220 of y'all that's in here, man, on this Wednesday.
Damn,
this was damn sure spur of the moment, y'all. We
out to y'all, man. We appreciate it. We do this for y'all, so we appreciate y'all being here, man. So that's love for sure. We can talk to nobody because we like to talk about hoops, but the fact that y'all here and y'all be having questions and y'all was coming with them tonight, so we appreciate y'all for that. You got anything, Wally? No.
Oh man, right. I ain't got shit. I ain't got shit.
Please like, share, subscribe, comment, tell a friend about the show.
Tell your mom
QR code right there next to Nick for me to get all our socials everywhere. And if you haven't already, go to the YouTube, subscribe, and like this video to get in the algorithm, please. So and as more info come out, we'll be here. For you.
Tournament brackets. Put your damn bracket in.
Yes. And we got our tournament back up. The winner of the tournament or the challenge get $50 gift card at Nike. So put your entries in. You got until what? 10 o'clock on March
Friday,
20th or something like that.
Look,
You got to
Friday
tune
night.
in. So
20th?
First tip off. First
Yep.
tip off.
Oh yeah,
Friday,
yeah,
I
take
think.
that back. Take
Well,
it back.
yeah.
yeah. So the first tip off.
We keep forgetting about the first four. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
they don't count that shit. Right
Yeah.
before
Also,
that.
shout out Nebraska as well for getting that win over Richmond. I definitely picked Richmond to win that one, but Nebraska came through.
Oh shit, I forgot that shit was on. I know you did text it, but I forgot and still got to go look at it. But yeah, so we appreciate y'all, man. Make sure y'all do them brackets and let's have some fun. Enjoy basketball this weekend. There's gonna be some good games for sure.
Great games.
And, we see y'all on these internet streets, and we see y'all next Tuesday to talk about all this stuff. Nebraska could beat Baylor. We're not gonna do this. We're not gonna do this right now, Lamar.
Watch March Madness.
Good night.
We love y'all. One band, one sound. That's right, Lo.
Make sure y'all watch Cross.